Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Wednesday, the 10th of Feb. All right, now just coming out of the North American session, the pretty neutral day on the equity markets. Okay, not a hell of a lot going on, but the major currencies, doesn't seem to be a lot happening. And don't forget, these ranges have just been reset with the 5 p.m. New York changeover. So not a lot going on there. The Bitcoin is, where are we? Up to 46,800, right? Helped along by obviously Elon Musk and Tesla sort of getting involved there. It's always good to tell the market once you bought 1.5 billion of something, get them all excited, see how it trades. Now, what we're going to concentrate on is what you can see, right? Last week, we had the dollar cruising to the top side. Non-farm payrolls comes out, puts a damper on things. And now we're just seeing a slow move to the downside. But you can't deny the move, okay? Primarily, it's broken the first level on the non-farms. Then you've got a couple of follow-up, not really major support levels, but all the same, the only support levels around. And it's now sort of just drifting down here in the doldrums as we come up towards Thursday's CPI numbers. Now, CPI on Thursday is going to be key to the next move. Really weak data, then the dollar's just going to keep drifting to the downside. I see Trump's second impeachment trial has begun. That's not real big news anymore. That's just something for the tabloids to try and sell a few papers. But what we're sort of focusing on is what's going to happen to the dollar. Now, this stimulus package in the States has been, dragged out. It's at least probably another month away. The major headlines you can see down the bottom here. Now, I was talking about this earlier in the week, maybe at the end of last week, with one of the best or better trading opportunities was dollar CAD, right? Oil has gone sort of one way. Now, for those that are sort of just joining us for the first time, it looks like oil is going down. I've inverted that chart. So the natural correlation with dollar CAD is clearer to see, but it's rallied, right? It's just gone straight up from $50 to sitting around 50, 58, 40. And it looks very comfortable. And that's dragged dollar CAD down with a weaker dollar. I know last Friday we had some extremely crap Canadian employment numbers. They've been pushed aside as the oil and dollar components of the trade dominate that move. So, and it's the good thing about the whole thing, right? And I was just going to say, like, the dollar index is lower. You can see dollar Swiss down, dollar yen's even moving, dollar CAD's down. And you've got all the dollar block, right? Euro, sterling, Aussie, and Kiwi all going to the top side. Now, this is a sign of good market conditions. What we're not sort of getting that real tight connection is when's that next move going to come from? And as I showed you before, the equity market's pretty neutral day. There's no sort of lead from there. This is more like getting back closer to normal market conditions, right? Where the general economics comes in and sort of directs things. So, like the US economy is struggling, there's COVID issues. Now, on top of that, the sterling, right? They're sort of attributing the major sort of rebound in sterling, much bigger than the other pairs, due to their, they're rolling out the vaccines and it's all like positive hype. To me, that's just mythical, and it's not really, I can't see that sort of lasting anyway. I think that's a sort of a bit of a made up story, but that's what we're seeing. So what do I think from here? Now, I don't know if this dollar move is going to continue. So a lot of the time it's buy the rumor, sell the fact. I don't know if you've heard that adage before. Basically, the lead into the US CPI numbers, they could be factoring in weak numbers. So when the actual weak numbers come in, the dollar stabilizes and if anything sort of turns around. I just don't think the dollar is done just yet. Don't forget this stimulus package isn't far away. The fact is that the dollar lower, it's giving us opportunities here for levels on the top side to get back into these other currencies. And when the dollar ricochets, I said if the CPI numbers are better in the US, we should see the US dollar rebound. It's going to give us opportunities to get short a lot of these pairs as they sort of reverse. But right now, the dollar's weak. Don't fight it. Let it sort of just move around. If you've got levels on your charts, then work with them. Like Euro's got another level coming up the top side. Don't forget, a week ago, we had all these weak European data, right? And the euro was looking terrible. All of a sudden, we get a little turnaround in some of the macro numbers out of the US, and it's all completely the opposite. I don't buy it. I think this is a short-term move, a bit of a flush out of last week's big moves, people getting short euro. I mean, some crazy price action here on sterling as they cut rates, and then it's rallied, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, we're building up for better trading opportunities. So don't get disillusioned with that, and don't get too caught up in the news, right? So, I mean, yeah, sure, Bitcoin above up to towards 50,000 is news, but unless you've got some, I wouldn't really be worried about it too much. Don't feel like you're missing out. There's a catastrophe coming on Bitcoin. You can see at some stage. I mean, it just doesn't. It's not connected to anything. I know you can, Trump. I mean, Musk getting involved in Tesla, bringing it into mainstream payment systems. Yeah, sure, but what's to say that the Aussie dollar isn't worth 50,000 a dollar, right? Anyway. It's put where it is by the people who buy it, and the big US. There's a lot of big US funds and a lot of, besides Musk, getting into this, and they are controlling the outcome of Bitcoin, and we'll see how that plays out over time. But the other thing is, you got Biden sort of yapping about a bit. I'm not too worried about that. I'm more interested in what's happening with the currencies. Try and keep connected to what is driving the currencies. Dollar CAD, probably the easiest, that oil movement. Now, with that, right, and I'm saying this, if you're not sure about what's going on in some of the pairs, keep an eye on dollar CAD, because if oil falls and starts to reverse, dollar CAD's going to do the same. It's probably the easiest currency where we have a natural, like the oil is an indicator of where the price of dollar CAD's going. So that's probably the easiest one for me. I still like euro to the downside, and we've got another resistance level coming up. It's all hinging on the US CPI numbers. So right now I've got to sit back, relax, wait and see what's coming out. We've got some Chinese CPI numbers out today. They're important. They used to be for the Aussie and Kiwi. And we've got a huge amount of sterling data out as well. Keep an eye on this, because the macros on most of the major pairs are starting to impact. I know the vaccine situation in the UK is a big story and it is dominating, but keep an eye on that as you go forward. And then, later today, you got the US CPI numbers. That's the focus for today. Sorry, I'm talking Thursday. So keep an eye on the US CPI numbers. Big indication of where that dollar's going to go. Does it continue to the downside of the dollar index, or does it rebound? I think the detail is going to be in the data, and then we'll work it out from there. All right, guys, plenty to play for. Don't get disillusioned. We're ready to rock. All right, cheerio. Have a good day.